Hi, how you doing today? It's Bob Maxwell with RA Maxwell and Associates, and today we're going to talk about a great dicer that we have. This is the MHS Model 112. The designation of the 112 means that it's a four-sided compression chamber. So this machine is specially designed particularly for fresh meat. But you can also do tempered meat, you can do vegetables and things like that also in this machine. So what we're going to show you today is some of the operations. We're going to show you how to clean the machine and some basic maintenance on the machine. So the first thing we're going to do is obviously plug in our machine. We're going to come over here to our lockout tagout power switch. This is in the off position. We turn the machine on. How do you know the machine is on? You have a green indicator light over here that shows you that all the safeties are working and that the machine is on. So what's recommended is before you start the machine, let's just make sure that the safeties are functioning properly. The way that we do that is, for example, we have a safety here at the takeaway conveyor. So if this were lifted off, you can see that the green light goes away. Lift it back on, safety's back in place, now we got our green light back on again. We come over here, we have a safety also in the door, magnetic safety, it's right up here. So you notice as soon as we open the door, light goes off, that means the safety is working. We shut the door, safety is working fine. Alright, so we know that our machine is safe to operate. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our meat, we're going to go ahead and put it down inside of our chamber. We come over here, close our door. Now you can hear the machine running. Okay, so we had the dial set at 10 millimeters, and so this dial indicates your length of your product, and then the grid set determines your width and your height of the product. So for that demonstration, we had that set at 10 millimeters. So you've got 25.4 millimeters to 1 inch. So 12 millimeters is obviously around a ½ inch, 6 millimeters around 1/4 of an inch. This machine goes up to 40 millimeters, so you can go as low as 1 or 2 millimeters, all the way up to about 1.5 inches. 1 or 2 millimeters is about 1/64 of an inch, so very, very thin. Okay, we have on our control, like I said, your length for your millimeters, how long the product is going to be. Then you have this control here. This control is set up for a single blade like we have set up here. If, for example, you go to our other options like going to a double blade or going to a disc where you want to shred maybe vegetables or shred cheese or cut cheese, then you would go to this other mode over here. Otherwise, if you're just doing your standard dicing, you're going to go ahead and move to this position. This is your pre-compression. So if you're using a very hard, kind of more frozen product, tempered at maybe 22 to 24 degrees, then you would run this at 0. Or if you're using any of our accessories like the discs and the double blades, that would be set at 0. Then if you're using a fresh product, you might start off your pre-compression at 3. It goes up to 4. What happens here is we have a pusher, and this is going to pre-push the product up to where the grid sets is before it starts the actual cutting motion. Okay, that's what pre-press does. Okay, this is our cutting chamber. So obviously the first thing is your machine needs to be off. You're going to go ahead and lift up that lever. This is our cutting area. Now, before we start disassembling this, I want to go through the grid. and the cutting mechanism. So first you have a guillotine blade. That's where the dial that you saw in the front, that controls the speed of how fast this product is moving forward. That determines the length. So that pusher that's pushing the product is timed with this guillotine blade as it comes around. So you have your guillotine blade for length. Then you have your outside cutting grid. This particular grid set is set up at 1-inch increments. And so this is going to give you the width of your product. Then you have a secondary cutting grid, which is horizontal in the back, which you'll see in a minute. Okay, and that determines the height of the product. So this is what they consider a multi-dimensional or three-dimensional dicer. So it'll give you your height, your width, and then your guillotine gives you your length. Now there's a lot of other things that you can do with this dicer. One of the things you can do is if you just want to slice the product, okay, and then cut it off for length, then what you can do is take these blades out, okay? It'll go through the first set of blades, so that'll give you your height, and then you have your guillotine that's going to come around and that's going to give you your length. All right. You can cut and dice vegetables in here. You can slice vegetables, slice cheese, all different types of products. This is really a very, very versatile machine. Okay, so this is the inside on our grid set. And what I'm going to show you is how easy it is to remove the grid set and the blade. This is your blade protector for your guillotine blade. Okay, very important to make sure that before you start removing the blades that you slide this on your blade first. Next thing we're going to do is start to remove our blade. So again, you shouldn't have to use any tools to remove this blade. So the first thing we're going to do is remove this. Okay, so our guillotine comes off, very safe, nobody can get hurt. Okay, then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to loosen our T-handles for our grid support. One drops down, the other one slides off to the side. Now we're going to take this grid set out. And then we have our second grid set. So this is the grid set. I was saying that if you wanted to slice the product, you would have the product go through here. Your other grid set would not have any blades in it, and then your guillotine blade. So now you're slicing and cutting off pieces that way. Very, very versatile machine. And then all we do is slide this down. Okay, we can take those over to our 3-compartment sink or our Juras washing machine, and we can go ahead and wash these every single night. Now, as far as we've got this open now, so now we'll go to the front and we'll take the rest of the parts off and prepare for cleaning. Okay, so now we're going to get ready to clean our machine. So we've already taken off our grid set, our guillotine blade, we're ready there. The next is our cutting board. We put this on so that in case you do need to cut some pieces to fit into the chamber, then you have a cutting board here. The next thing you're going to want to do is remove your lower cover. All of this will easily fit into your Juras washing machine, utensil washing machine. You can certainly call our office and we'll give you more information about our washing machine. The other thing you're going to remove is this block, and then your pusher block. After you've placed all of these in your Juras utensil washing machine, The operator can be going ahead and running that now while they go ahead and hose out this machine. So it's a full wash down machine. Just take your hose, rinse it all out, rinse the chamber out. Obviously, you're going to remove your conveyor belt and then come around to the front and hose out your front area. Very simple, very easy machine to clean. Probably take you 15-20 minutes from start to finish. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put the machine back together. So we've gone ahead and cleaned the machine out. We've got our parts that we had washed in our Gyros utensil washers. You can go on our website and look up the Gyros washers. So we have different models. We have a model 8150, we have a model 8160, a 9120, and a 9130 that seem to be the most popular units for the small to medium size processors. So we have our first grid set. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put our back grid set on. So what we're going to do is we're going to line up our holes to the pins. And the second thing we're going to do as we slide this in is line up our block to this opening. So now that's all the way in. Now we're going to take our vertical grid set. And again, we're going to line up our holes. We're going to line up our block. The unit just slides right in. We lift up our bracket. Slide over our bracket. That's how simple it is to install your grid set. Now we're going to take our guillotine blade with our safety cover, line up our two pins. We'll start our screw. And then we're going to want to remove our blade cover. And then finish tightening down our blade. Once we get our blade fairly secure, the next thing we're going to do is there's a button underneath here that we'll show you in a minute. And what you're going to do is the machine has to be on for this to work. So we're going to turn our machine on. The machine cannot run because our door is open, so we don't have our green light on. So it's perfectly safe. We go to our release button, we release the button, and then we're going to take this handle and we're going to move the blade to this position. Once it's in this position, then we're going to go ahead and finish tightening down the blade. And again, this is just hand tight. Okay. Now we're going to check to make sure that everything is set up properly. Again, we go to our release button under here. We're going to turn this using this handle, keeping our hands away from the blades. And we're going to turn this. And we cannot hear any touching, any metal touching, so we know that we're safe. Now, if, for example, you do start getting some wear on the blade and the blade starts being sharpened, then the blade has to be adjusted. And so you have 3 adjustment screws here to adjust how far in or out this blade is to this surface here. Okay, that's about it. Thank you very much, and we appreciate it. Go to our website, ramaxwell.com, and learn more information about our dicers, about our washers, slicers, and all the other machines that we have available. Thank you. Have a great day.